total body stability and mobility with me, Coach Becca Kawaoka. Hey guys, Coach Becca here, and welcome to my stability and mobility workout. This is my sidekick Red. A tennis ball or lightweight is optional today. Get started with a little ankle, hip, spine progression. So down on one knee, all I want you to do is, well, give your sidekick some love if you've got a little furry friend with you, and lean in with the front heel down. So back knee is just on the ground, so you get a nice little hip stretch there. My right foot is on the ground and I'm pressing my right knee forward. So my ankle's flexed as far as I can get it, and that's gonna stretch out the Achilles as well as give me a nice hip stretch. All right, let's drop the opposite hand. So this is my left hand down and I'm reaching my right hand up towards the sky. So this will give me a progressed spine stretch. Let's make that more dynamic by dropping the elbow, the right elbow in towards the ankle and reaching back up. So we're gonna do a total of 5 of these. So just 2 more, and this works thoracic spine mobility, and this whole time you're also getting that great hip stretch. So it's a great movement pattern, and we're gonna finish this progression with a hamstring stretch. So level 1, I want you to stay right here. Just straighten out the leg as much as you can. If you need a chair or bench to help you there, that's fine. Level 2, sit all the way back to the heel and reach forward, stretching out the hamstrings and the lower back here. Take a few deep breaths, and we're gonna work through this progression on the other side. So we're gonna switch the legs. So now it's the left knee forward, right knee back, and we're just gonna press that left heel into the ground. Feel that Achilles stretch, pushing that left knee forward past the toes as far as we can. Right knee on the ground, right hip getting a good stretch. Take some deep breaths here. And we'll progress that ankle stretch into a deeper hip and spine stretch. So just place the right hand on the ground, the left hand up now, and we're just gonna feel that spine twist, that nice rotation stretch, feel the hips, and let's make it dynamic by dropping the elbow in and reaching up towards the sky. A total of 5, and we'll just try to breathe here through this. Today's goal is to really work on range of motion, mobility, and stability in several joints. So I'm so happy that you decided to join me for this workout. All right, after those dynamic rotations, let's reach into the hamstring stretch. Again, if you need a table or a chair to hold on to, that's fine. This is level 1. Level 2, if you can progress and sit back, let's stretch out the hamstrings, lower back. And this isn't a bad thing for the knees either. The grounded knee gets quite the stretch and flexion there. So excellent job getting the entire body to touch base here early on. All right, we're gonna get into 90-90 position now. So we're just gonna keep the knees at 90 degrees and we're gonna rotate from side to side. Now, if this position's challenging for you, I want you to sit on a pillow or put a pillow just underneath one of the knees if you need to. And you can just hold the stretch versus rotating side to side. Notice that the feet stay in one position. And to make this exercise more challenging or easier, you can bring the feet closer to your body or push them a little further away. Or again, sit on a pillow. That always helps decrease the intensity a little bit. Same thing here, so let's just, if you need to, grab a pillow, but we're gonna just move forward and lay down over the front leg now into a nice hip stretch. Take some deep breaths here, great for the lower back, great for the hips. And we're holding for about 15 to 20 seconds. Let's go to the other side now. Again, don't be afraid to grab things if it's gonna enhance your workout, like a pillow, and we're just gonna do that hip stretch here on the other side. Again, take some deep breaths in and out. Excellent work. All right, time for some spine mobility next. I'm gonna have you lay with your knees at 90 degrees, and those knees are just gonna be in line with the hips. Your arms are gonna go out to the side in line with the shoulders, so your upper body's essentially making a T. What we're going to do is keep the knees together and just rotate them side to side in time with our breath. So we're going to take a deep breath in and out, and we're just going to switch the knees to the other side. You can look up at the ceiling if you'd like, but both shoulders stay on the ground. Take a deep breath in and out. And of course, a deep breath here in this great rotated position. So arms again just out equally, out like a T. And we're just gonna rotate those knees at 90 degrees, which are in line with the hips, side to side. So it's great for the spine, which in turn then is great for keeping that lower back pain free. Just take some deep breaths here. And we're gonna let the legs stay now on one side, and now we're gonna get the arms involved. So I want you to line your hands up with one another, and you're gonna open like you're opening a book and close. So you're opening, you're returning that shoulder to the floor, okay, and then reaching that same hand. So if you're opposite of me, it'd be your left hand. I'm using my right hand. Closing it, clasping it together with the opposing hand, lifting the shoulder off the ground, and then returning it back to the ground. And this is specifically for mobilizing the spinal column, the part of your spine that's right in the middle of your back, your thoracic spine. And the main purpose of your thoracic spine is rotation. Let's bring the knees to the other side, and now we're just going to do the same thing with the opposite hand or shoulder. You might be able to see it better here at this angle. You're just going to open and close the hands. So the shoulders go from flat on the floor to rolling onto one shoulder. If you want to think about anything in life that requires you to rotate, lifting, maybe putting something over your head, maybe you play a sport like swimming or a throwing sport, even if you toss a baseball with your kid in the backyard, this is something that will help you stay pain-free in the lower back during those and after those activities. This also just feels really nice. You might get a couple back cracks between this and the other one we just did. So open books and the spine mobility drill we just did are a great combination for mobilizing the spine and preventing lower back pain. All right, nice job here. Now we are going to do a shoulder stability combination. If you have a tennis ball or a light to moderate weight, those could enhance this drill. Okay, what we're going to do is take that tennis ball, and I'm just feeling my lat muscle here right behind the shoulder. I'm not going to bend my elbow, but I'm going to sort of pull my shoulder into the joint. And after I do that, I'm just going to extend at my hips and knees. So I'm just holding that arm overhead, and you don't have to use anything here. You could have just done that shoulder pack without a ball or without a weight. You don't need either of these, but if you have them handy, they will make it more challenging, and they will help root that shoulder into the joint. So by holding the weight overhead, we're with a packed shoulder. So notice how that shoulder is strong. That weight's directly, or the ball is directly over the shoulder joint. We're working on shoulder stability, or the ability to support weight in the overhead position while doing some hip and knee extension. So if you can't get into this position, you might consider just doing this version, but standing up nice and tall and just holding that weight over your head without any of this going on. So if this is too aggressive for you in the lower body, you can just stand and hold that weight up. But notice how the hips hinge and the knees flex and then extend. So it's just a great workout for the knees, the hips, and the shoulder. Okay, so trying this again on the other side. There we pack the shoulder in, and we're just going to gently work in some of those hip and knee extensions. Again, if this is too much for you on the lower body, you can either just stay seated, or you could do this standing and support weight overhead. So there's the tennis ball version. Here's the weighted version. And if you don't have a weight, you could use a milk jug even if you wanted to, or a tennis shoe. You could just use anything that you had if you want a little extra push in the shoulders. Now it's also a good way to get in touch with the quads. See how tight your quads are. See how tight your hip flexors maybe are. See how mobile the knees are. Because if you have some tightness in the quads or hamstrings and hip flexors, it might be really difficult for you to get into this deep of a knee flexion and hip flexion position. And notice how that weight's staying directly overhead if you're using it, bicep to ear. So this position might be challenging, especially with weight overhead. So not necessarily a beginner's movement there. So just take your time on that one and just do the standing version if you need to. Okay, so I'm gonna hold the ball for this one. You don't have to use anything at all. I'm just on one knee, and on the same side as the knee that's forward, I'm taking my arm at 90 degrees and crossing it to my opposite hip. What you wanna do is pull that arm that's working in 90 degrees, you want to pull that back as far as you can. So we're working shoulder mobility. And it's helpful here if you can just time this movement with a breath, whether you're inhaling here and exhaling here or vice versa. It's just a nice way to pace your movement out. And I also want you to really think about gaining as much mobility here at the back half of this movement. We're working on just crossing that midline, mobilizing that shoulder. And from here, we're going to work in shoulder rotations. So you keep that elbow at 90 degrees in line with the shoulder. I'll show you here from the side. And we're rotating the shoulder both up and down. You don't have to use the ball. The ball's going to make it more difficult. So if you don't have great range of motion or great mobility, you're actually better off doing this without anything in the hand. We want to mobilize that shoulder as much as we can. We want to work rotation through that shoulder joint as much as possible, gain as much range of motion as possible. Keep that elbow in line with the shoulder. Very good. We are going to do the same circuit on the other side. So elbow at 90 degrees, start in line with the shoulder, touch the hip, pull that elbow back. Use your breath. Again, pull that elbow back. And you should feel the shoulder blade working right there. This is also a great exercise to do with a band. And for some of you, it might be a sport-specific movement. So if you play tennis recreationally, or if you swim recreationally, there's a handful of other things. Maybe fly fish. There's a lot of things I'm not thinking of, but with this movement, you might do this specifically within your sport. So it's helpful to practice some sport-specific movement patterns and find the best mobility within them for your body. And let's just take this right into rotations now, guys. So keep the elbow at 90 degrees, and we're rotating in both directions, both externally and internally, as much as we can. A gentle reminder to keep that shoulder down. At times, it's easy to let that shoulder sneak up to the ear, and we want to keep those shoulders relaxed. Again, just take your time, touch base with any sore spots or hitches you might feel in this movement, and just gently work those out. Awesome work. Thanks for doing that one with me, guys. All right, we're going to do a balance reach next. So level 1 first, you're going to put most of your weight on your front leg. Okay, and you can just watch these. We'll start our official count here in a second. Soft knees and hips, and you're just reaching forward. So again, soft knees, hinge at the hips, about 90% of your weight's on the front foot, and you're reaching overhead with the back toe on the ground. Level 2, if you need to touch down here, you can. Level 2, you're going to reach overhead, kick the back leg back, touch down if you need to, draw the leg up. I should say level 1, 2, and 3 there. So in level 2 and 3, if you're pulling that knee through for level 3, you want to kind of keep your heel and shoulder in line with one another. So as you drop the shoulders, you're lifting the back heel using the glutes. Again, reaching overhead, cinch that core together as you pull the knee through if you're able to. If you're not able to, just touch that foot down and balance. Fast and furious, let's try that on the other side. So again, level 1, 90% of your weight in the front leg, hinge at the hips, reach forward. So you're dropping your chest so it's in line with the hips, just keeping that back toe down with about 10% of your body weight as you reach overhead. So we're working some hip hinging here. For level 2, you're going to extend the back leg back, keeping it back foot in line with the shoulders. Touch the foot down if you need to, and then pull the knee up. If level 3 is your thing, you can just go right into that knee drive balance. So this is a great hip mobility and stability drill. It's a great ankle and knee stability drill. Bringing the upper body in is a great way to connect the upper body to the lower body, which is really functional for a lot of athletes and human beings. We don't want to just isolate the lower body. The upper body is often involved in athletic movements and daily movements. Very good, you guys. Great way to work on mobility, stability, and just a lot of great things happening there. Love that move. All right, go ahead and come on down to downward dog position, and we're just gonna pedal the feet out. So that means hands are on the ground, hips are up high so you can feel a lat stretch, and we're just pressing one heel into the floor at a time. Get into a position that works for you. Not everyone's downward dog is gonna look the same. All right, slowly extend the right leg back and then pull to the chest. So push the right leg back, arms are straight, tighten the core and pull that leg in, bending the knee. So it's almost like a mountain climber. You're extending back and then pulling the knee through. Inhale and exhale. Deep breath in and out. So we're just doing 5 of those to get the core going a little bit. Opens up the hips. Here we're stretching out the hamstrings, the lower back, and the lats and shoulders. Let's try the other side now. Extend the leg back, tighten up the core, and pull the knee in. Extend that leg straight back, push the arms straight back, drop into a plank position, tighten the core. Again, we're just working the entire body here, so a little bit of a hamstring stretch, low back stretch, shoulder stretch, firing up the core, stretching the calves. Just 5 single leg down dog crunches here. Nice job. Go ahead and hold downward dog here briefly for just one more deep breath before dropping the hips in, flattening out the toes, opening up the chest. And if upward dog is too intense for you, I want you just to come on down to the elbows. That's just fine. But if you're here with me, let's just begin to mobilize the neck, looking to the right, looking up, looking to the left, looking down. Just taking your time, sorting out any sore spots there, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, stretching the hips while we mobilize the neck. We're in the final stretch here, you guys, of this great mobility and stability workout. Hopefully you feel better than when you started. And let's just finish with child's pose stretch here for the arms, the lats, and the lower back. Arms are straight, sit back on the hips. Taking deep breaths here. We touched base with every joint from the bottom up today and hopefully mobilized lots of key joints for you. So thanks for joining me in red, and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all my workouts, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much.